Hey guys, it's Grislybear Tarot. Here's another video regarding to childhood trauma. If you have a very abusive parent in your household and you are seeking help, this video is for you. I'm going to shine some light because I am a survivor myself, okay? So you will hear a lot of people telling you, oh, you shouldn't do that to your parent. No, you shouldn't fight back. They're trying to suppress you, right? They're trying to tell you to obey to the parent a lot. And honestly, a very few of your friend groups, in your friend circles, very few people will understand what you experienced. Okay, because they never experienced it themselves, or they experienced that, but they're too traumatized so that they normalize the abusive behavior. So you couldn't really rely on other people's judgment because 80% of the people are still asleep. Okay, so as the awaking ones, or you're already awaked, okay, or you're on your progress, you're on your journey to be awakened, you need to realize that you shouldn't seek excuse for the abuser in any sort of way, in any form, in thoughts, in words, in communication. You should not making excuses for the abuser because they have no reason to do whatever they're doing. Okay, that's why heaven and hell exist. That's why people are going to be punished for whatever they did in this lifetime when they go die. Okay. And also, you will hear a very common misconception of the birth charts in astrology groups, okay? Well, the astrology person, well, if they're not really enlightened or they don't know the truth, okay? Yes, through birth chart, you will see your mother a certain way or your father is a certain way, but it doesn't make excuses for all the shit, all the hell you went through as a kid, okay? People have their own judgment and people are in responsibility of their own actions. So just because your personal birth chart said, you are very responsible for your mother because your father is absent, or your father is a certain way, or your mother is very controlling, your father is very controlling, that doesn't mean they can beat you with their belt. That doesn't mean they can sell you to a whorehouse, okay? If you don't know what I'm referring to, check my last video on how to heal your childhood trauma, okay? Physical and emotional abuse, okay? I talk about my own experience there that I never shared before. Even people who know me, they don't know that about me. Only my closest friends who I can truly trust. I can give my heart to them and I will know that they will protect my heart, okay? I can trust them while I'm turning my back on them, okay? Blindfolded too. So the reason I decided to share that story is not because, oh, pity me, poor me type of thing. No, I want to share that story to give you some insights on what I see through my experience and to stop saying poor me for you. To not victimize yourself and to stand up for yourself. That's the whole point of me making all of these very aggressive videos, which most people are too afraid to talk about even. Okay, most people shut up because they're afraid to get judged, or they're afraid that people are going to point fingers to them and calling them crazy. But good news or bad news for them. I'm someone who I can take judgment a lot. I really don't care what people say about me because I'm doing it for the good cause, okay? With the good cause, they can say everything about me and I do not care. Okay, as long as this video can help someone. So back to our topic. People are going to say to you, oh, why are you acting crazy towards your parents? You should not fight back. You should not rebel. The rebellious spirit, that's actually you yourself are trying to fight against the devilish power from your parents, okay, because they're possessed in one way or the other. And to protect your own inner child. That's exactly what we're doing. You are literally protecting your childhood self from not being able to speak the words that you couldn't speak back then. the expression that you couldn't really communicate it out loud back then because you didn't go to school or you didn't like reach a higher knowledge. You don't know what's going on actually. So now actually you got the power to know exactly what's going on, to give it a full psychoanalysis, right? To truly understand, like, did your parent love you, or are they just pretending to love you and they don't know how to love? Or again, everybody has trauma, all right? Okay, I said it in my last video. Just because somebody has trauma or your grandparents did that to your parents, that doesn't make excuses for parents to treat you the same way. Because I know, there is generational trauma. There are like a lot of trauma runs in the family, but that again does not excuse your parents to do the same to you, just as you wouldn't do this to your own children. Right? So let me ask you, if you wouldn't do that to your own children, why would you excuse your parents? Right? Why would you excuse your parents from the dirty deed they did on you? Because if you really admit they do not love you, it will hurt a lot first. Oh yeah. It will feel like somebody rip your heart out and then use a knife to cut it out open and then to like swipe it with a knife. Okay, it will literally feels like that. It fucking hurts. Yeah. But in order to realize the truth from it, you will need to do that. Oh yeah. It's called growth. Growth is not easy. Growth is not, it's not simple. Okay, it's something that you have to go through. So to leash out all the anger, all the frustration in a very rational way. I'm not telling you to just emotional outbursts and to just react to whatever that's happening to you. I'm saying you should respond it in a very decent way that is so cold and rational, okay, without engaging in much of your own emotions to the point that you are going to cry while you are expressing all that to whoever this is, and preferably through text, because I think still for most people, you guys are not strong enough to like face to face with the abusers, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And I think if you face to face with the abuser without like fully know them, wrapping them around your finger type of thing, you will be bamboozled and being manipulated again, because they know how to trigger you. They know how to get an emotional reaction out of you. They know how to say certain things to gain back their control, they gain back their upper hand. The power dynamic even exists between the relationship in the parent-children dynamic. Okay, so yeah. Last but not least, do not be afraid. Do not allow anybody's fear to control you. To say, oh, you should apologize to your parents for what you did. You should like obey to them. Parents always are right. Parents give you birth, give you life. You should respect them, la, 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 la. But let me tell you my philosophy, okay? It's also the Taoism of China, okay? Here's some magical Asian, Asian philosophies over here. You hear Buddhism a lot because Buddhism is helping people to nurture each other, to love each other in a very gentle way. But unfortunately, I don't think that can be used when you're facing an abuser. When you're facing an abuser, check out Taoism. It's spelled Taoism, okay? It's one of the best religion or philosophy on earth, if you will, okay? But the point is to slap back to those who used to slap you, okay? If they slap you once, you slap them twice. If they slap you 2 times, you slap them 100 times. Always fight back, because if you don't say that out loud, okay, you will keep that energy within yourself. And most of us who are being abused or experienced abusive behaviors, no matter it is physical or emotional manipulation, you are tend to be a very introverted person. You keep everything in, right? So for these type of people, us, when you don't express that out loud, you are going to keep that madness, that anger, that feeling of injustice, that feeling of like being tortured or feel mistreated, all right, feel disrespected you're going to keep that all within you, and that is going to shine on the outside. Like, again, my other video called You Can Heal Yourself, I literally explained my personal experience of how I got liver problems and all kinds of stuff, that being hospitalized, because I was keeping everything in. Because in my culture and in all the cultures, all right, they tell you, they literally taught you, okay, do not fight back to your parents because your parents is like God. Wrong. Parents are not God. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, we are God's children, yes, but parents are not God, all right? Especially abusive parents. I mean, if this is like your great mother, like truly nurturing kind, yes, they do have God within them, but they're not God, all right? Right. Okay, so yeah, that's what I mean. You gotta like talk it out loud, and I don't mean it for you to do that right now. You can even just write on a paper to speak everything you want to ever speak to them, okay? And it will reach to a point where you are grown to such a level where you can calmly communicate, like what I'm doing right now, without being triggered. And that is the time you will have the conversation with them, to gain back your freedom. Yes, so the key here is to come back to the freedom to self, the freedom of your inner child, the freedom of no longer being manipulated or emotionally being controlled by anyone around you. Okay, so you can even do that to like a partner, but usually the partner you choose, even, it reflects something within the family. Or, you know, this can not only mean the abusive parents, this can even mean abusive siblings. That happens. So apply it to your own situation. All right. And speak it out loud. Okay. Don't just write. Please don't just write. Or you can just send them the letter or send them a text and then read it out loud. Imagine they're right in front of you and just, rant, just release and rant and release all that negative energy that does not belong to you. Because remember, your inner child has took on so much of the negativity and pressure, and as it is growing up, right, it is suppressing and repressing all those negative energies within you. That's why you got autoimmune disease, you got like problems on your skin, especially. I think skin problems, especially like your body, not just the face, will show a lot of what you need to know. Because when your skin breaks down, okay, because this is my personal experience that I'm like sharing with you guys. When your skin starts to break down and your immune system starts to break down, that is the number one signal that things are really getting serious. Okay, so if you get skin disease out of nowhere, that is your sign to take a look into the recent event that has happened. Very likely, whoever that is abusive in your family, okay, that abusive person might have a conversation with you, okay, recently, or have a chat with you about something that irritates the hell out of you, or forcing you to do something that you do not want to do. Oh yeah, so check that recent event, and it's time to do your own healing. It's time to free your own inner child. Nobody is responsible for taking care of it, so you now are in full charge. Because unfortunately for those of us who need to heal, unlike other families, they can have a parents they can count on, right? They can't, like turn their back on them, and then they know their parents will have their back. But unfortunately, in our case, no. Your parents are basically your biggest enemy in life. The most toxic, the toxiest person, okay, in the family. And if you don't get rid of them, there will be a lifetime of trouble. There will be a lifetime of trouble. All right. And just to relate to the recent movie that I just saw, Michael Jackson movie, by Biotics, what would you call it in English? You know what I mean? There's a scene that really shocked me because I actually didn't know that. His father was forcing him to go on tours, and on that tour, the Pepsi commercial, the thing that fell onto his head and he got a third-degree burn on his head and got so severe he almost died. Okay. Number one, that is a universe sign to tell him it's time to gain your own freedom. It's time to get out of your father's control. Okay. And for those of you who still believe MJ, Michael Jackson, is a P word, you need to do some research yourself. Okay. Because you believe in whatever the social media, whatever the media is telling you, that is not true, that is completely bullshit and crap. Okay. He is absolutely 120% innocent. And as a tarot reading person, as an energy reader, I know when I see an innocent person, okay, and I can actually test that testament is true. All right, he is not P word, okay, he does not do that with children, okay. All he did was, he's a Peter Pan himself, so on the outside people may judge him for being such a child to sleep in the same bed as children, because he himself see himself as a Peter Pan, as a child, right? So of course, in most people's eyes, that will be inappropriate. And, whoever that is the power against him, right? Because he's trying to expose all the truth. He's saying too much. He said too much truth, right? About the industry that he's in, about how they manipulate people. And all he did was trying to heal the world. And of course, the media will be the strongest tool to manipulate people to buy in whoever that is on his opposite side, right? To manipulate those who still believe in Michael Jackson was a P word, okay? So unfortunately, most people doesn't even have discernment, okay? That's what I learned in life. Most people doesn't even have their own judgment and discernment. They cannot tell what's true and what's not true, okay? So they buy in everything they see. They believe it, okay? Like for me, I got trust issues since when I was a child because I got nobody to rely on. So have your own discernment, guys. Anyway, so you can see how much impact the father, the mother will have on the children. And yes, his father's strictness does help him to be the biggest star of the world ever. But that does not make an excuse for Joe Jackson to be the ass person that he is, right? Again, like, do not make excuse for the abusers, okay? And take back your power, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye.